factory, they had a very small turbocharger, no intercooler, so when the turbo gets hot, Alright, Mad Matt from Budget Boostin'. We just talked about earlier the front brake discs and the pads on the front of a Pontiac Bonneville. Now we're going to do the rear disc brake pads on a Pontiac Bonneville. Now, the first thing, of course, lift the vehicle up, take off the wheel and tire, real basic stuff. Safety first, jack and a jack stand. And if you're going to be spraying some PB Blaster, which I do to loosen all the stuff, keep your eyes and face away or wear a face shield. Alright, make sure you have the right tools. Open your maintenance manual, make sure you have everything you need to do the job. The brake pads, the tools to remove things. And on the rear pads, unlike the front pads we used a C-clamp to push in the cylinder. On the rear pads on this, it's a rotating cylinder, so you have to push them in and rotate them in a clockwise motion. See? So I'll get back to that and show you that as I do it, but I'm just kind of giving you a brief. Okay, now that we got the wheel and tire off, car's jacked up, I'll take off the bolts. I kind of loosened them already, so I just have to loosen them the rest of the way and pull them off, and we take the caliper off. Alright, rear calipers. Got this maintain bolt. The fronts had 2 bolts. This is just one, and you swing it up. And we have to loosen the mounting bolt of the emergency brake cable because it will stop us from lifting this as far as we want to go. So, I'll have to get an assistant once I get this rotor out of the way. And right there. Yes, we can hold it just like that. That'll lift. Okay, we turn this in. There's a little, there we go. We turn the piston in. This one has a lot of different things, and there's more expensive tools you can rent that'll push these in, but I like this tool. It has many shapes for many different kinds of brake calipers. Nissan used a different one than Pontiac and Toyota and so on and so forth. But this is kind of like a dice. It's got all kinds of different points in which to grab these guys and turn them in. And you have to turn these in because the new pads are much thicker than the original pads. You have to make space for them, which is what I'm doing. Turn these pistons in so the new pad will fit into the caliper. Just keep turning it in gently till it stops. It's not under much force. And this pushes the piston in so you can fit the new brake pads in there. A little bit more. In a pinch, you can also use needle nose pliers. I've done that before if you don't have all the special tools, but it's so much easier with this. About a $5 part. $5 tool. But a shop will charge you close to $200 or more depending on the shop. Parts and labor, you know. Which is actually pretty reasonable, but there's shops that will charge a lot more than that. Just shop around and do your own research. But it's an easy job to do yourself. It's not hard. Make sure the piston's all the way in, which it appears to be. Alright, my new brake pads. Alright. And you do them one at a time. This is an example of some bad brake pads. These are 2 bad brake pads right here, and they're thinner than one new one. Look at that. So you can imagine how far I got to put the piston in to make them fit. So always do pads one at a time, so you know exactly which position it needs to be in. Like this one. Screwdriver. Which you have. Maybe use this. Like that. Switch. Oh, switch. There we go. Hold that. Okay. A little bit. Sometimes they need a little screwdriver to get a little help to get these stubborn pads out. See how that has the hook on the bottom? Get the new pad with the hook on the bottom to replace. And gently slide them in. Next pad. This one has one too, but you know what? We don't have one, so we'll be okay. Didn't come with it. Okay. Let go. Slowly put the cylinder back. Always lubricate your bolt. And thread it back in finger tight. And move along with the wrench. And the retaining bolt for the brake line that we had to move. In it goes. A lot of mud in this car. Someone went off-road in a car. Nice and tight. And the final step, have an assistant pump on the brake pedal a couple times to reseat the calipers and the piston to the new brake pads. So just someone go and pump the pedal a couple times, and then reinstall the wheel and the tire, torque your lug nuts, all that good stuff. Take a look at your handiwork, see how when they pushed in the pedal, it lines your pads and everything up. Do that a few times, and we're done. Also a good time to inspect your rotors, and if they're questionable, have them replaced with new rotors. We ordered some rotors, and we'll be replacing them in another video. So this car is going to kind of relax until we get some new rotors. But we just would think we'd like to show you the brake pad installation, just so you know how to do it. And mind you, we are going to change these rotors, because they are in that borderline appearance. They have deep scores. We're going to replace them. Alright, well thank you for watching. If you like what you see, like us on Facebook, like us on YouTube. Remember our budgetboosting.com website. Check us out. Watch our videos. Subscribe to our page. And remember, knowledge is power. It's horsepower. Here's a nice new pad. We've already done the other side of the car, so I'm going to show you the difference. Here's the brake pad that used to be on the other side of the car. New, old, really worn, almost metal to metal. Once you run out of pad, you're going to go metal to metal and destroy your rotors. That's when you have to replace your rotors. Have to, because they'll be metal to metal scoring. But if this had smooth wear, it's just worn all the way down. These new pads are going to seat in just fine and give you some nice stopping power.